face the ceiling. And as you tuck the shoulder blades and tuck the chin, see if you can find a little bit of extra length there at the back of the neck. Starting to settle. Relax. Rest heavy. Breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the nose. Breathing in as much oxygen as you possibly can take in. Breathing out toxins, tension, stress, worry, anxiety. Let all of it go. And just feel your body getting heavier and heavier. And just taking note of any particular areas of the body where you may be feeling something, whether it's soreness, an injury you've been dealing with, an area of the body that's just been giving you trouble. Whatever may be going on, the more aware of these things you are, the more you can focus the breath to the areas that need it as you practice today. So for many of you, it's the first time being back in this space. Allow the healing energy of this space to really give you what you need today. Good, so the inhales flow into the exhales, flowing into the inhales again and again and again, this constant repetition that happens as we breathe. Good, so you've established a nice steady pace to the breath. Make sure you're breathing with that 3-part breath that you're very familiar with. And just start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bringing some movement to the hands and to the feet, to the wrists and to the ankles. And just let your head begin to turn very slowly from side to side. Good, as you roll your head back to center, slowly slide your legs together. Stretch the arms all the way up, back, and over your head, and take a long, deep breath in. Make the body as long as it can be, and as you exhale, release the arms back down to the sides. Go ahead and draw your knees into your chest. And just give it a little rock here from side to side. A little massage for your back, low back or otherwise. You choose where to focus it by how much you squeeze the knees in. Good, as you roll back to center, go ahead and set your feet down on the ground now, nice and close to the body, feet at a hip distance width. And then reach down with your fingers as though you could touch the heels, even if you can't touch them. So the arms hug the sides, flattening the low back towards the ground, squeeze the knees over the ankles, and on an inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, let them slowly come back down. And move with your breath now, inhaling to lift up into bridge. Exhaling to lower with control. And just continue this movement at the pace of your own breath. And just getting used to linking your body's movement with your breath. The next time you inhale and lift the hips up, you're just going to hold up at the top, taking your time to get there, no rush. Keep squeezing those knees in just a little bit. Keep pressing the palms and the arms and the shoulders down towards the ground. See if you can inhale, lift your hips up even higher, and then exhale, slowly lower your upper back, your mid back, and your low back down. As you draw your knees into your chest, take your arms and bring them out, maybe to a T, maybe into cactus. We're a little tighter space with our spacing in the room, so just adjust as you need to. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lower your knees to the right as you look to the left. Inhale, come back to center. And as you exhale, change sides. Back and forth, inhaling to come up. Legs to the right, head to the left. Inhaling to center and over to the left. So the next time you make your way over to the right, you can relax into the twist for a few moments, letting the feet touch down, relaxing. Palms can face the ceiling or the earth, your choice. Shoulders stay relaxed and down, away from the ears. Just taking 2 more breaths here, really trying to surrender your body to gravity. Good, and as you press into your palms, you're gonna wait for your inhale to bring the head and the knees back up, and as you exhale, simply change sides. Legs to the left, head turns to the right. And relax and breathe. And let go. Noticing how that low back is feeling. Trying to soften that whole area of the body. Take another deep breath in. Completing the exhale as you start to turn the palms down or you press the arms down. Inhale, let your head and your knees come back up. And then reach for the knees with your hands and once again rock from side to side. So you can either continue to rock from side to side or you can come to center and rock up and down the length of the spine. Everybody's a little different. We have different bodies in this practice space. We're just going to eventually meet at seated to come into table. So if you're rolling side to side, roll over to the side to come up. Otherwise, roll yourself up and then come onto your hands and your knees. Then as we spread those fingers out nice and wide, we walk the knees back so they're more maybe behind those back sitting bones than the frontal hip bones. So we lengthen the sides of the body as we lift through the low belly here. Now inhale, leading with the tailbone, begin to lift it up, chin lifts up, open the throat, and as you exhale, reverse it up into cat. So inhaling, the tailbone lifts, the chin lifts, open the throat. Exhale, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, and round the back. And continue going back and forth, maybe even closing the eyes. Slowly as your breath will let you go, so that you're really linking movement with breath. That's how this becomes a moving meditation. Those of you that have been used to practicing outside will notice a real definite change to practicing on the firm floor. But there's a lot less distractions from inside this space than when we're down at the river. Take one last inhale into cow and one last exhale into your cat. And then neutral table pose. Slide the hands forward an inch or two, tuck the toes under, take it up and back to your first downward dog. And as you come into your downward dog, just walk the heels up and down a few times. Pressing each heel down, alternating. Trying to hold an equal time on both sides. And then try to press both heels then down at the same time as you push your chest very gently back. Good, let's inhale, float up onto the toes, soften the knees as you look forward, and begin to walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, come up to a flat back and gaze out in front of you. As you exhale, fold over those legs. Inhale again, come up halfway, squeeze between the shoulder blades, and exhale, fold chest to thighs. One more time, inhale, flat back, long spine, gaze ahead, take a gentle grip on those legs and pull yourself down. Just a gentle forward fold, keeping just as much weight in the toes as you have in the heels. Draw the shoulders gently back and away from the ears. Good. Take your hands to the front of your shins, and as you inhale, straighten your arms. Lean a bit into your toes, bend the knees, and bring your hands to your hips. And now we inhale, come all the way up to standing. Bring your hands together at your heart. Inhale, circle the arms up, look up. Exhale, lead with the chest, and slowly fold all the way over those legs. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back. Remembering your push-up can be here on the toes as well as down on the knees. Try to keep that upper back nice and strong. Gripping with those fingers, and as you inhale, look just in front of you. Start to lower with control, elbows hugging the sides. As you untuck the toes, send the chin forward. Gentle lift through the back of the head. Keep those shoulders relaxed and down, away from the ears. Take another inhale, see if you can come up a little higher. Tuck your toes, press up and back into downward dog. Lifting the hips up, pressing the heels down, pushing the chest back. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Take another full inhale, and as you exhale, lower your knees down under your hips, bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. Coming into that table pose, on an inhale, send your right leg back and your left arm forward for a spinal balance. Try to keep pulling those shoulders gently back and down, away from the ears. Pressing through that right hand so firmly that the tips of your fingers are actually turning lighter in color. Take another inhale, stretch out those limbs, and as you exhale, set the hand and the knee down. Take a breath in and out. And then inhale, left leg back, right arm forward as we change sides in our spinal balance. Keep lifting through the low belly. Draw the right shoulder back and down, away from the right ear. Good. Take another inhale, stretch out those limbs, and as you exhale, lower the hand and the knee. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands forward just a little bit. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up, come high on the toes, pushing the chest way back, and then lower both heels down gently. Elongate the spine. Send the crown of the head forward to the space between those hands. Good. Let's take another deep breath in, and on the exhale, lower the knees. Step the right foot up. Slide that left leg back. Adjust the foot and the knee to hip distance width apart. If you need a cushion for that left knee, take your blanket or towel under it. And then lift the chest, lift the chin. Keeping those left toes pointing straight back behind you. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose. Go ahead, take another deep breath in, and with your exhale, look down so you can curl the left toes under and straighten out your left leg, and then pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Left hand comes in just a little closer to that right foot, and the right arm comes out like a wing. Look at that thumb. Inhale, and the arm begins to rise, spiraling that chest, open to the right. Press that left leg as straight as you can and take one more inhale. Exhale, lower the arm. Fingerprints come down. Walk that left hand out of the way, and now take a big step forward with the left foot and fold over those legs. Holding here. Let your head just hang heavy. Good, so we're going to keep our left foot just where it is and take a big step back with the right one. Lowering the knee and untucking the toes. Making sure that your left foot and your right knee have that hip distance width between them. Lift to the fingerprints, look out in front of you, elongate the spine as you melt your hips down towards the ground. Really try to focus the eyes, finding that single point of focus, not choosing something that's going to move. Take another full inhale, and as you exhale, look down, tuck the right toes, pick up the right knee, straightening that back leg, pull the left hip back, and shift the right hip forward. Now the right hand comes in a little closer to that left foot, depending on how close you are to the wall. Maybe you're coming out with a cactus arm or a straight arm, and then inhaling the left arm up, pressing that right leg as straight as you can, pulling both shoulders down and away from the ears. Take one more inhale, extend through those fingers. As you exhale, look down and lower the hand down. Moving that right hand out of the way, step your right foot up, hip distance from the left, and fold chest to thighs. Try to let your toes take just as much weight as the heels. And then just let your arms be heavy. Try not to reach for anything. If your hands touch the floor, turn the palms up. Maybe you can continue to lift the hips up and away from the heels, melting the chest closer and closer to those thighs. Good. Now as you look down to the ground and your fingerprints come back to the ground, heel toe your feet together so your big toes touch. Try to maintain a little space between those heels and begin to bend your knees. And as you bend your knees, squeeze those legs tightly together. Keeping that low belly drawn in, turn your palms to face each other, and as you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Keeping those knees bent deeply. Tuck the tail. Can you look up or even all the way up to the space between the hands? Squeeze those knees and those thighs together. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, look forward and maybe slightly down. And on an inhale, lift your heels up away from the ground, maybe just an inch, maybe higher. Can you bend your knees a little deeper? Good. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, lower your heels down. Take a step back with the left foot, and keep your hips pointing forward as you come up into your warrior one. Lifting the chin. Making sure your feet widthwise are hip distance apart. Bending that right knee over that right ankle. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, look forward, maybe slightly down, and bring your left leg back to meet your right, knees together. And then we're going to step the right foot back. Keep those hips pointing straight ahead, lifting the chin, opening the throat. Press the back of that right knee gently open. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, look forward. Inhale, step your right foot next to the left. Bend deeply into the knees. Point the tailbone down as you look up. Good. As you inhale, straighten the legs. As you exhale, holding on to your left wrist, lean to your right. Keep your chest pointing straight ahead. Try to stretch out that left arm as much as you can without lifting the shoulder. Inhale, come through center, holding the right wrist now, gentle lean to your left. Chest forward, hips forward. Really stretch out that right arm. On your inhale, come back up. Separate your hands, draw the tailbone down and lift the chin looking up. Take a full inhale. And as you exhale, push your hips forward and lean the torso ever so gently back. Try to lift your heart up towards the ceiling above you. Go for length here. On the inhale, come up to the top. Soften the knees, reach forward, and fold slowly down. Look forward as you inhale, and fold over the legs as you exhale. So let's plant the palms flat on our yoga mat and step back with the feet to the top of a push-up, and from plank, simply lift the hips to the sky, come up into downward facing dog. And take a moment, stretch out the arms, spread the fingers, and try to really stretch that spine, lift through the tailbone. Take another deep breath in, and with your exhale, lower your knees. Untuck your toes, bring your big toes together, start to sit back on the heels, but take your knees as far apart from one another as they'll go. And once your knees can't go any further apart and your hips are back as close to the heels as you can, start to relax down onto your forearms. And now we're going to use the strength of the arms, really pushing the hips back. Let your head just hang heavy now. And take a couple deep breaths. And after a couple deep breaths is the ability there to slide the knees further apart. Just work to your edge. On your inhale, crawl the arms forward, bringing your hips forward in line with your knees if that's available. And then maybe those knees can spread a little wider. Keep the low belly lifted. Good. As you inhale, lift the chin away from the chest. Slowly come up to your palms, straightening your arms. Slide those knees back in, and with your hands at the top of your mat, tuck your toes and press back to your downward dog. Good. Inhale up onto the toes, bend the knees, look forward, and as you exhale, bring your feet to your hands. Inhale, take the flat back, and exhale, fold over those legs. Inhale, reach the arms forward and all the way up. Palms come together, exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath. Exhale completely. Good. Hands on the hips. Lifting and spreading the right toes before relaxing the right toes down. Shift onto the ball of your left foot. Tucking the tail as you inhale, draw your left knee into your chest. Keep your hips as level with one another as you can. Lengthen through the crown of the head. So maybe it's enough just trying to lift the foot off the floor, and maybe you're just lifting it a little bit off the floor. Maybe you want to go further, bending your right knee and crossing your left ankle over that right knee. Maybe you can bend the right knee a little more. So trying to just cross ankle over knee like you were doing pigeon on your back, opening up that hip. Can you bend the knee a little more? Keeping the tailbone tucked. If you can, bring your hands to your heart. Keep flexing that left foot. Keep spreading the toes. How low can you sit? Take another full breath. And then on your inhale, straightening the right leg, send that left leg straight out, point the toes, and flex the foot. Take a deep breath in and lower the left foot down. Relax the arms. Give that right leg a gentle shake. And set the foot down. Hands on the hips. Drishti, find it. Lift and spread the left toes. Relax the left toes down. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Tail tucked, belly firm. Bend deeply into that left knee and cross that right leg over the left. Oh, sorry, I went ahead of myself. Draw your knee into your chest to start. So keep flexing that right foot. Keep lifting upwards through the crown of the head. Know that you have the option to stay here or bend the left knee and cross ankle over knee. Feel that opening in that right hip. Remember, you're just working to your edge. Tail is tucked. Bend the left knee a little more if you can. Keep pulling that low belly in. Can you bring your hands maybe to your heart? Focus the eyes. How low can you sit your hips? Take another full inhale. And exhale. Inhale, straightening the left leg. Send that right leg out. Point and flex and lower the right foot down. Relax the arms down. Shake out that left leg gently. Feet at a hip distance width. Hands on the hips as you lift through the crown. Take another inhale, stretch tall, and then soft knees. Lead with the chest and fold all the way down. Slide your hands down the legs and grab those big toes if you can. Otherwise, grab the ankles or the calves. So if you're holding on to your big toes, your first two fingers have made J-shaped hooks with the palms facing each other. Look forward as you inhale, pull that low belly in, and start to pull yourself down. Relax your head, let your elbows flare out to the sides, making sure that your fingers are really connected to the ground. That's how much your toes are pushing into those fingers. And at the same time as the toes push down, the hands are trying to lift up. Don't let one be stronger than the other. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release the big toes. Heel toe your feet together so your big toes touch. Come onto your tiptoes and try to bend your knees, sitting down towards those heels as low as you can. Now you can walk the hands back a little bit. Maybe just be on your fingertips. Maybe your hands can come to your thighs as your shoulders shift back over those hips. Maybe your hands can even come to your heart. Take one more deep breath in, and with your exhale, release your fingers down to the ground. Slowly begin to lift the hips away from the heels as you set your heels on the ground, and then fold over those legs. Press through the feet. As you inhale, start to lift through the back of the head. Sweep the arms alongside the ears and reach forward, up, little back bend. Exhale, bring your palms together at your heart. Bring your hands to your hips, keep your right foot where it is, and step back with your left foot, lining up your heels with each other. So you want about one leg's length between your 2 feet. Your left big toe is turned in slightly. We're gonna slide just the left heel back. Bring your arms to a T and look down that right arm as we prepare for our triangle. Start to lean over that right leg. When you can't go any further, just lower your right hand down. So you're gonna look back towards your left arm. Rotate your thumb to point up towards the ceiling. And as you look at the thumb, see if you can start to lift the arm up. If it's hurting your neck, looking up at your thumb, look out to the left, or even down to that right big toe. Balance the weight evenly between those 2 feet. Take another full inhale and exhale. Look down to the right big toe. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands to the hips. Let's turn the right toes in. And pivot and turn the left toes out. With the heels in line and the right foot slightly pigeon-toed already, we're gonna slide just the right heel back a little more. Arms to a T. Look down your left arm. And start to lean and reach and stretch over the left leg. Keep your torso and right arm there as you lower just the left fingers down. Turn your head and look towards that right arm. Rotate your thumb to point up and start to lift that right arm all the way up. Straight up to the sky. Shoulders stay relaxed and down, away from those ears. Elongate the spine, the neck. Press the weight evenly into those 2 feet, strong legs. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, look down to that left big toe. Inhale, rise, come all the way up. Turn the left toes in. Turn the right toes out. Close the pose at the top of your mat. Bring your hands together at your heart. Interlace the fingers. Press those palms down. Inhale, let the arms sweep forward and up. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, lift the heels. How high is up to you. Playing with your balance. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower your heels. Inhale, lift the chin, press the palms up. Exhale, separate your hands to shoulder distance and pull the shoulders down. Inhale, really stretch tall. And again, push the hips forward as you lean gently back. Send the fingers up and the thumbs gently back. Inhale, come all the way up. Soft knees, reach forward, fold down. Inhale, look forward and lengthen. Plant your hands. Step back to the top of a push-up. Set your right knee down under your right hip and plant your left foot directly behind your right foot. So you can point your right toes to your left arch. If you need a bit of a kickstand, your right foot can slide back a bit. Bring your right hand in line with your right knee, and when you're ready, bring your left hand to your left hip. Roll that left shoulder back. Maybe you can look out to the left. Maybe you can float your left arm straight up to the sky. Maybe you can even look up towards that left hand. Turning your palm forward, take the arm over the ear. Keep trying to angle that pinky finger down towards the ground as you straighten that left arm as much as possible. On your next inhalation, let your left arm reach back up. As you exhale, look down and set the hand down. Set the knee down and widen your hands back to shoulder distance. Keeping that left knee under the left hip, straighten the right leg, pivot and plant the foot. Bring your left hand in to line up with the knee. If you need the kickstand, it's the left foot sliding back a bit. And then bring the right hand to the right hip. Roll that right shoulder back. Maybe you can even look out to the right. Maybe that right arm can float up in the air. Maybe you can look up to that thumb as you rotate the palm forward. Start to reach forward over the ear. Pull both shoulders down, away from the ears. Keep drawing that low belly in. On the inhale, the right arm floats up, and as you exhale, look down and lower the hand down, and the knee down as you widen your hands back to shoulder distance. In your neutral table, inhale, lift the tailbone and the chin. Exhale, reverse it up into cat. 2 more, move with your breath. Last one. And once you're done, that last exhale up into cat, you're returning to a neutral table pose. Let your big toes touch, let your hips sink back to the heels. See if you can keep those knees at a hip distance width as you drape the upper body over those thighs and relax the head down. And if the head doesn't make it to the ground with the knees hip distance, then use your hands as a pillow. Try not to widen the knees. Just noticing how when you come into this pose without those knees really wide, how it changes the stretch for you. What feels different? What feels similar? So with your hands now on either side of your head, straighten your arms, and now we're going to bring the thighs together so they touch. And then we're going to lower back down again and observe the changes in the body. So I notice for myself, once my legs come together, my head doesn't make contact, so I make adjustments. So what adjustments do you need to make for your body? Try to relax here as much as you can. Good. Hands to either side of the head. Push into those palms and slowly straighten your arms. What hip do you always roll to? Go to the opposite and take your legs out. And as you take your legs out and extend them, give those legs a little gentle shake. Good. Extending both legs straight out, removing the flesh away from those sitting bones. We're going to pull all 10 toes towards us. Draw the shoulders back over the hips and the ears back over the shoulders. And take your arms up alongside your ears. Relax the shoulders down and inhale. Stretch tall. As you exhale, move your heart slowly forward. Start to relax the arms slowly down. Take a very gentle grip on the sides of the legs with a bend in those arms and pull your heart closer to those toes. And when your heart can't get any closer, start to melt your chin toward your chest. But keep that heart extending forward through those upper arms and keep the shoulders drawn down and away from those ears. Good. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, extend the arms. Inhale, come all the way up. Good. As you exhale, just relax the arms down to the sides. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, but maintain a diamond shape with those legs. So you know the length of your torso from the groin to the forehead. Try to go the same from groin to arches of the feet in length. And then draw the shoulder blades onto the back, lift through the crown, take a deep breath in, and start to lead with your heart. Maybe your hands slide to your shins, maybe your ankles, maybe they wrap around the toes. Use the strength of the arms now to pull your chest as far forward as it'll go, and then relax the head all the way down. And notice where you're feeling the stretch now along the outsides of those legs. Breathe into those sore, tight areas if you encounter them. Use your exhales to melt that soreness, melt that tension away. Good, and as you inhale, lift the chin, and then pause on the exhale. Inhale, slowly come up, hands sliding back up the legs, and then we're gonna slide the heels in as close to the body as we can. We can open the feet up like a book, we can wrap the hands around the feet, we can hold the ankles or hold the shins, but try not to lean forward just to get the grip of the feet. We want to have our shoulders back over those hips, knees pressing down as we inhale, lift through the crown of the head, and as we exhale, start to move the chest forward. Try not to let your elbows start to come forward. Try to keep those arms relaxed by the sides of the body. Move your heart as far forward as it'll go, and then melt your chin down and toward your chest. Let your head just hang here. Let your facial muscles soften and relax. Relax the jaw. Try not to have expectations. That way you're never disappointed. But just constantly be in observation of your body, in observation of your breath, noticing where you're at all points through your practice. On your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, pause. Inhale, we're gonna come all the way up. Take your hands to the outsides of the knees and guide those knees back together. Hold the backs of your thighs as you point your toes. Try to keep your chest and your thighs close together as you straighten your spine. And then see if you can float those toes off the ground. How high can you lift your feet? Do you need those hands? Can they become the arms, the sides of your boat here? If you need the hands or you're not lifting the feet very high, work to your edge. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, plant your feet hip distance width apart. Slide your hands back, maybe a foot or so behind you, and plant those at a shoulder distance width, gazing towards your navel on an inhale. Lift your hips up and send your knees forward over your ankles. Push your belly up to the sky, push your chest up. Can you look straight up? You can even look straight back, or you can keep looking at your navel the entire time. Take one more inhale, really lift the hips, lift the chin, look at the navel, and lower the buttocks. Making sure your feet are at the top of your mat, lower down onto your back. Legs together, point your toes, reach your arms back over your head. Take a long, deep breath in, stretch the body out, and then release the arms down to the sides. Walk your feet towards you. Reach for your heels with your hands and try to adjust your feet to a hip distance. Tuck the tail, flatten the low back. Tuck the chin, lengthen the neck, and inhale, lift your hips up into bridge. Now maybe you can clasp the hands, climbing higher up onto those triceps. If clasping the hands is causing your wrist to pull away from the floor, just keep the palms pressing down. Try not to let those knees splay apart as you push your chest towards your chin. Taking long, slow, deep breaths here. Setu Bandhasana, our bridge pose. Noticing how this one feels different than the one we did at the start of our practice. Notice how much more open the body is. Good, inhale, up onto your toes. Slide the arms just to the edges of your mat and lower your upper back, mid back, and low back down. Let your heels come down. Walk your feet as wide as your mat is, keeping your knees bent. And just let your knees fall towards one another as you take your arms either into cactus or out to a T. Take a long inhale, and as you exhale, let both knees go over to the right as you turn your head to the left. Rolling to the outer edge of your right foot and the inner edge of your left foot. So maybe you want to walk your left foot a little further out to the left, bringing that knee out a little bit so it's more in line with your hip. See how that feels in that left hip flexor and down the side of that left leg. It might only be an inch or two of movement. Both shoulders are still on the ground. If you walked the foot out, bring it back to the edge of your yoga mat. Inhale, your head and your knees come up, and as you exhale, knees now travel to the left as the head turns to the right. And maybe you can walk your right foot a little further out to the right, noticing what you're feeling through that right hip. Really surrendering to gravity, letting it pull that right knee down. Good. Walk your right foot back in if you brought it out. Inhale, let your head and your knees come up. And now walk your feet towards one another. Bring your heels as close to you as you can, and then let the soles of the feet connect as the knees open away from one another and melt down towards the ground. Tuck the chin a little bit, create a bit of length there at the back of your neck, and just breathe. Do you have the ability to go from cactus arms to diamond arms by lifting the elbows even higher and just letting your fingertips come to join one another above your head? So the arms have just made a diamond shape around the head. Good. On your next inhale, let your knees slowly come together. Plant the soles of your feet on the ground, and now just shift your hips a couple inches to the left. Turn your head to the left. Take a deep breath in, keep the arms as they are, and melt those knees over to the right side. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Try to keep both sides of your chest pointing up towards the ceiling above you. Notice the stretch you might feel in the arms, armpits, and across the chest. And then on your next inhale, let your head and your knees slowly lift. Walk your hips to center. So make sure everything's centered on your mat. And then all we're going to do is take those hips a couple inches to the right. Turn the head to the right. Take a deep breath in and begin to melt both those legs over to the left. Maybe you can stack those knees and ankles. Maybe the right foot's just behind the left foot. Arms, if you can keep them there, still in that diamond shape. And just noticing how that feels. So there'll be little modifications that we have to make to be in this space safely, being within our kind of space. Try to adjust as necessary. You'll start to learn certain spaces in the room have a bit more room for you to be in them, and maybe you'll gravitate to filling those up. I think the back of the space kind of gives you a little bit more space to either side, just with the way that the room is shaped. But we're adaptable as humans. And if there's anything these last few months have really taught us, is that we can adapt. And we can be here, and we can be safe, and we can create our community again, but that community's been there all along. Whether we're at home practicing ourselves, it's always there for us to draw on. On an inhale, let your head and your knees come up. Shift your hips back to center. And then use your abdominal muscles, draw your knees towards your chest, and then reach for your knees with your hands. As you hug them in, just rock from side to side a few times. And let this little rock from side to side massage your back. Where does it need it? Keep the knees really loose to feel it right across the low back and buttocks. Pull the legs in a little tighter to feel it move a little higher. Maybe you're moving the legs or the knees in a circular pattern, changing it around. If you do something on one side or in one direction, make sure that you go the other way. And as you come back to that center position, take those knees, bring them out really wide, and then reach up for the front of your ankles just to start. And then try to stack your ankle over your knee. So we're trying not to reach for the feet just yet, but point the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling above you. Now we want to ensure that our low back stays on the ground. So maybe your hands are going to stay at your shins or ankles. Maybe you can reach for your big toes without lifting your shoulders too much off the ground. And then we're using the strength of the arms to draw those knees down towards the ground on either side of us, keeping that tailbone and that low back really connected here. And then just rock a little bit side to side. Just a tiny little movement. Using your abdominal muscles to control that movement. Come back to center. Bring the soles of your feet together. Lift your head off the ground and wrap your hands around the outsides of those feet, interlacing your fingers. Pull your heels up away from the body so you've got a little diamond shape that you're looking through. Try to pull yourself through those legs. Don't lift the low back. Take another inhale, pull yourself up, up, up. As you exhale, lower your back and your head down. Release your feet, bring your thighs together. Wrap the arms around your legs. And again, inhale, lift the head. Try to bring your forehead towards your knees. Start to scrunch up the shoulders, the face, squeeze every muscle in the body. Take another inhale, hold the breath, squeeze and release. Lower your head and your feet down. So some of you may have little props. Maybe you've got your eye pillow here, maybe you've got a blanket, maybe you're good just as you are, but make your way into Shavasana. This is a posture that you know very well. You know what your body needs in the pose to be comfortable. If there's any last final movements or adjustments the body needs to be comfortable, wiggle it around until you find that perfect space to sink into. And then let your molars separate as you relax your jaw. Let the tip of the tongue come to rest on the roof of the mouth behind your top front teeth. But try to let the rest of the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth and gently sink down toward your throat. The eyes are resting heavily there in their sockets. The whole body begins to relax. And when the urges to fidget come up, and they will, you ignore them. command your body to be still if necessary, but hold the pose. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently nudge it back. Back to this moment, back to your body, back to your breath. Just becoming that silent observer of all of those things. Giving yourself a few minutes here to let all of your efforts really sink in as you take rest and relax. Start to invite that deeper breath back in. And as you breathe deeply, just start to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes, to your ankles and your wrists as you roll your head from side to side. Let your legs slowly now slide together as you stretch your arms back and over your head. Take a long, deep breath in. Make the body as long as it can be. And as you exhale, let your arms release down to your sides. Draw your knees into your chest and just rock from side to side across your back. Rolling to that side that gives you a little bit more space to roll into. Just pause and notice and be thankful for the gift of this yoga practice in your day today. And when you're ready, make your way slowly to a seated position. Bring your hands together at your heart. Feel the positive energy within you and surrounding you. And we seal in our efforts today with the chanting of Om. Take a deep breath in. The divine light within me graciously, humbly acknowledges that same divine light within you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. So you'll notice that some of the spaces are a little tighter, and